5 simple habit hacks to rewire your identity and reclaim power. Hi, I'm Tapavantamas, the alignment mentor. I'm honored to help you create habits that truly stick, habits that align with who you really are and set you up to live the life you were born to lead. I've walked a long path to get here, from doing random jobs just to survive, to running my own business, to eventually burning out from the very life I thought I wanted. Now I guide others to rise through alignment, not pressure, and to build a life that feels purposeful from the inside out. So let's dive in. If you had looked at my life back then, it all seemed like a success story. I'd built something out of nothing, worked hard, sacrificed more, and made it work. But behind the scenes, I was constantly chasing, driven by fear, disconnected from joy, and operating in survival mode. I wasn't totally unhappy, but I was unfulfilled. Something was missing. And then one day I stumbled upon a video of a Buddhist monk speaking about enlightenment. That moment cracked something open in me, not in a dramatic way, but in a quiet, undeniable way. It was like my soul whispered, "There's more than this." That question, "What am I really here for?" hit me harder than any burnout ever had. So I packed my bags and flew to India expecting a short trip. That trip turned into 4 years. I lived in ashrams and monasteries, studied with spiritual masters, and slowly began remembering who I really was. I saw that success without inner peace is just a louder version of discontent. And I realized I could still serve, still lead, and still thrive, but in full alignment with my true nature. I began asking different questions. What feels alive? What drains me? What would it look like to create from wholeness instead of from fear? And little by little, I let go of what wasn't mine. I started living with purpose, and I became the alignment mentor. And here's the wild part: nothing about me changed overnight. I just started choosing differently, moment by moment and habit by habit. I wasn't trained for this path. I didn't have a plan. But here's what I've learned: you can't build a fulfilling life on a fractured identity. If you believe you're not enough, if you carry old stories about needing to hustle or prove yourself, your outer life will always feel like a struggle, no matter how successful it looks. This course isn't about grinding harder. It's not about optimizing your to do list. It's about becoming the version of you who already lives with clarity, purpose, and flow, and letting your habits reflect that. It's about alignment, not effort. So we'll begin at the root, your identity. Insert a transition or break slide to indicate a shift between sections. You're not broken. You don't need fixing. You just need to remember who you are and align your daily life to match that truth. So let's begin together. These next steps will help you stop chasing the life you want and start embodying the person who naturally creates it. Let go to rise in alignment. Back when I was doing random jobs just to make money, I carried a lot more than physical weight. Expectations, pressure, conditioning. I didn't realize it at the time, but I was dragging around identities that didn't belong to me. And just like climbing a mountain, the higher you want to go in life, the lighter your internal load needs to be. At ground level, you can carry all kinds of baggage and keep going. But if you're serious about evolving, about building the next chapter of your life or business in full alignment, every ounce starts to matter. What once felt doable starts to drain you. That's when you have to ask, what's actually elevating me and what's silently pulling me down? Because here's the truth: most of us are carrying stories we didn't write, old roles we never questioned, beliefs we inherited, ways of being that were born out of survival, not soul. But if you try to build the next version of yourself while holding on to all of it, you'll burn out before you break through. Letting go isn't quitting. It's not failure. It's strategy. It's spiritual intelligence. It's the decision to choose alignment over attachment. It's knowing that not everything that got you here is meant to take you there. When I left behind my business and went to India in search of something real, I had to release a lot. My say yes to everything habit, my need to be liked, my obsession with being busy and useful all the time. It wasn't that I cared less, it was that I began to care differently. I began to care more about my purpose than about pleasing, and that brought up guilt. Fear of letting others down, fear of being seen as selfish. But I knew this inner summit required it, and yours will too. Now that you understand why letting go is essential, let's bring it into your practice. Here's what to do. Step 1: create your let go list. Take 10 minutes. Journal everything you're carrying right now: responsibilities, expectations, unspoken rules, labels you live under, habits that just run on autopilot. Don't overthink. Don't edit. Just let it pour out like you're emptying your energetic backpack onto the floor. Now go back through it. Circle the things that feel outdated, heavy, or misaligned with who you're becoming. For each one, ask, if I wasn't already doing this, would I say yes to it now? If the answer is no, ask yourself, is this helping me rise or is it holding me back? That's your compass. If it's dragging your energy down, it's not coming with you. Step 2, create a weekly check in. Pick a time that feels natural, Sunday night or maybe Friday afternoon. Light a candle, play music that grounds or elevates you. Make it sacred. Reflect on your week and ask, what felt heavy? What felt aligned? Then write down 3 things you're ready to let go of before stepping into your next week. And if you want to seal it, burn the paper, tear it up, or just say aloud, this no longer belongs to me. You don't have to release everything all at once. This isn't a purge, it's a practice. One choice, 1 week, one small release at a time. Every time you let go of something that no longer serves you, you reclaim energy. You reclaim truth. You reclaim your power. And every time you choose your future over your fear, you rise. So keep shedding, keep realigning, keep climbing. Your summit isn't just waiting, it's calling. Design your next level identity. You can't walk a path you haven't seen, and the same goes for the life you're here to live. No one stumbles into their highest potential by accident. It takes vision, it takes presence. You have to know who you're becoming in order to become them. This part of the journey is about consciously crafting your next level identity, not a fantasy version of yourself, but the real you that's been buried under years of programming, pressure, and self-protection. This isn't about wishing, it's about choosing with intention and alignment. The clearer your inner vision becomes, the faster your outer world begins to shift. I call this your embodied avatar, a crystal clear, soul-fueled version of you that's not waiting 5 years to show up. They're already here. You just need to remember them and start living from that place now. When I left the grind and flew to India, I had no roadmap, but I felt a deeper identity rising within me, one that wasn't built on hustle or proving, but on presence, clarity, and truth. That's when the alignment mentor was born. I didn't call myself that at first. In fact, it felt awkward to even think it. I was just someone trying to find peace. But the more I showed up from that space, the more I became it. It wasn't a role I stepped into, it was a remembering. And it began to shape every decision I made. My habits changed, my energy changed, my life followed. Now it's your turn. Take 5 minutes to tune in. Who is your aligned future self? What do they believe? How do they walk into a room? How do they handle resistance? How do they speak, move, love, and lead? Get a clear felt sense of that version of you, and then write your identity statement. I am your chosen identity who embodied behavior or principle. I show up every day with energy because I am who you are becoming. For example, I am a grounded visionary who leads from presence and clarity. I show up each day with courage and devotion because I am here to awaken others through alignment. Say it out loud every morning. And even if it feels awkward, especially if it feels awkward, keep going. That awkwardness is your old identity stretching to make space for the new one. It means you're on the right track. To anchor this new version of you, choose something tangible to connect with it daily. Maybe it's a mantra taped to your mirror or a sacred object on your desk. Maybe it's clothing or jewelry that you wear when you step into full alignment. I call this your supersuit. Every time you see it, wear it, or touch it, you're signaling to your nervous system, this is who I am now. Your subconscious begins to catch up. And when your subconscious is on board, your actions follow naturally. You don't become the person after you reach the goal. You become the person, and then the goal meets you. Future you isn't a far-off version waiting for a perfect moment. They're waiting for you to show up now. Every small decision you make, every aligned habit, every time you embody that identity, you're not pretending. You're voting. Each action is a plank laid across the unknown, building the bridge between where you are and where you're meant to be. At first, it might feel like you're making it up, but so did every visionary who ever changed their life. They didn't wait for external proof, they created it through repetition, belief, and action. And eventually, those tiny votes add up. You're no longer guessing who you are, you're living it fully. So keep aligning, keep voting, keep stepping. You're not dreaming anymore. You're becoming the new version of you. Stack habits to compound results. When it comes to transforming your life, you don't need to start with a bigger goal. You need smaller habits, not just any habits, but ones that create evidence. Evidence that you're already the version of yourself you're stepping into. Because here's the truth, your mind doesn't trust words, it trusts proof. It doesn't respond to I am powerful unless you act powerfully. It doesn't believe I am aligned unless you consistently move in alignment. The subconscious learns through repetition, behavior, and experience. So if you want to shift your identity, Don't talk about it, embody it. That's exactly what this chapter is about, proving who you are becoming before the results show up. We do that through anchor habits, small daily actions that reflect your new identity. When I began transitioning from burnout into becoming the alignment mentor, I didn't start by changing everything at once. I started small. My anchor habit, sitting in silence for 20 minutes every morning, no phone, no goals, just presence. Even when I didn't feel like it, I showed up. And each day I did, I voted for the version of me I was becoming, centered, grounded. That tiny ritual didn't transform me overnight. But day after day, it became undeniable proof. Proof that I had stepped off the hamster wheel and was now moving from wholeness. That's the power of an anchor habit. It's simple enough not to overwhelm your system, yet powerful enough to shift how you see yourself. Let's make this real for you. If your future self is vibrant and energized, maybe your anchor habit is drinking a glass of water with lime juice and activated charcoal first thing each morning to detox your system. If you're stepping into creative flow, maybe you write or paint for 5 to 10 minutes a day. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be consistent. Are you stepping into leadership? Post one insight a day to your network. That single action reinforces to yourself and others that you're no longer hiding, you're expressing. Want to be more present with your kids or partner? Try 10 minutes of undistracted connection. No phone, no multitasking, just presence. If you're stepping into deeper spiritual leadership, your anchor habit might be as subtle as a breathwork practice before meetings, or starting your day by reading your identity statement aloud. Here's the key: start with just one habit. Not a 2 hour morning routine, not an entire lifestyle overhaul. One small, clear, repeatable action that aligns with the version of you that's already alive inside. So, how do you choose your anchor habit? Use this simple checklist. 1. It should take less than 10 minutes to start. 2. It must be so specific you never second guess it. 3. It should feel meaningful and connected to who you're becoming. 4. It should be trackable so you can feel your progress. Your brain may resist. It'll tell you it's too small to matter, but that's old programming. Small is powerful. Small is sustainable. Small is how the foundation gets laid. Another trap to avoid: perfectionism. If your mind whispers, if I can't do it perfectly, I won't do it at all, remember, progress is proof, not perfection. Now set yourself up for success. Choose a consistent time and place. Maybe you journal right after your tea or meditate after brushing your teeth. Link your new habit to something you already do. It makes it easier for your brain to build a routine. Track your habit visibly. Use a calendar, journal, or app. Let your brain see the evidence. And don't skip the celebration. Every time you complete it, give yourself a moment of acknowledgement. A smile, a deep breath, a quiet yes. These tiny celebrations train your system to feel good about following through. Because anchor habits don't just shift your schedule, they shift your self image. When you start believing something new about yourself, your behavior naturally follows. You stop doubting. You stop overthinking. You simply act in alignment because that's who you are now. So take a deep breath. Commit fully. Say it out loud or write it down. This is my anchor habit for the next 7 days. You don't need a breakthrough moment. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need one small, meaningful action and the willingness to repeat it. Each step is a vote for your future. A vote for the version of you that's been quietly waiting for you to catch up. And one day soon, your future self will look back and thank you, not for being perfect, but for starting, for choosing proof over potential, for building momentum one aligned action at a time. This is how you stop trying to change your life and start living as the one who already has. Resistance shows the path. Every time I've grown, spiritually, emotionally, professionally, resistance has been right there beside me, not as an enemy, but as a companion, a threshold guardian, a whisper that says you're not ready when deep down you know you are. Most people mistake resistance for a stop sign. But here's what I've learned: resistance is actually a green light. It's the pulse of your soul expanding, the signal that you've stepped outside your comfort zone and into the domain of transformation. Whether it was leaving behind the safety of my old business, boarding a flight to India with no plan, or stepping onto stages as the alignment mentor, I've faced resistance that felt like nausea, tightness in my chest, or that sneaky inner voice whispering, "Who do you think you are?" But I've come to understand the stronger the resistance, the more important the moment. It's not proof you're on the wrong path, it's confirmation that you're crossing into new territory. Resistance isn't supposed to feel good. It shows up before the breakthrough, before the conversation that matters, before the new offer you're scared to share, before you say yes to something your old self never would have dared. There were times during my inner pilgrimage, sitting in silence in ashrams, confronting shadows I didn't know existed, where my whole body wanted to run. But each time I stayed, softened, or took one step forward, the resistance turned into clarity. Not instantly, but inevitably. This chapter is about one thing: turning resistance into momentum. So here's a powerful reframe I want you to live by. If I feel it, I do it. That fear, that hesitation, that knot in your belly, it's a compass. And your job is to respond with one small step within 60 seconds. If you feel resistance about working out, just put on your shoes and breathe. If fear shows up before launching your program, send one line of the email. If discomfort rises before a hard conversation, text, "Hey, can we talk later today?" None of this needs to be big. Every time you move through resistance, mark the moment. Whisper, "I did it." Smile. Nod. Breathe in your courage. That small acknowledgement sends a message to your subconscious: I am safe, I am growing, I can do this. Think of it like training a wild animal to trust again. You're gently rewiring your system to believe that growth doesn't equal threat, it equals expansion. Over time, this rewiring becomes your new identity. You're no longer someone who hesitates. You're someone who moves forward, even when it's messy. You don't wait for clarity to act, you create it through action. This habit, leaning into resistance, won't just help you reach your goals, it will change how you relate to fear. It will shift how you lead, love, and rise. You'll become the person who sees doubt as a doorway and walks through it anyway. So pause for a moment and imagine completing the project you've been procrastinating, having the conversation you've been avoiding, saying yes to the opportunity you would have talked yourself out of last year. Feel the pride, the power, the peace that comes when you stop waiting for resistance to disappear and start seeing it as the way forward. This isn't hype, it's how identity is reshaped. It's how confidence is built, one brave choice at a time. So next time resistance whispers, "This is too much," whisper back, "This matters." Take a breath, send the text, make the move, and trust that with every tiny courageous step, you're becoming exactly who you came here to be. Congratulations. You've done the deep identity work. You've let go of what's been draining you. You've shaped your avatar. You've anchored small, powerful habits. You've moved through resistance. Now it's time to create a rhythm that sustains all of it. Not a rigid routine, not another to-do list. I'm talking about a simple rhythm, a steady return point for when life gets messy, because it will. Think of it like your heartbeat, responsive, reliable, and always bringing you back to center. Here's what I use and what I offer to you: a daily flow that keeps you aligned even on the hard days. Start your day with intention. Before the noise of the world comes in, speak your identity statement aloud. Feel it, visualize it. Let your future self set the tone. Just a few minutes of grounded clarity can shift your entire day. Midday, take a pause. Just for 60 seconds and ask yourself, am I being him right now? The future me I'm stepping into? If the answer is no, no shame. Realign, take a breath, and recommit. This check in is your permission to reset without judgment. Then at night, reflect. Ask, what vote did I cast for my future today? Name a win, even the smallest one. Maybe you kept a boundary. Maybe you paused before reacting. Maybe you simply showed up. That's enough. Celebrate it. These 3 moments, morning, midday, and evening, are your rhythm. They hold you steady. They remind you who you are becoming. And here's a favorite practice of mine: the doorknob meditation. Every time you touch a doorknob, ask, is this helping or hurting future me? That's it. A micro moment of awareness. If you're aligned, acknowledge it. If not, pivot. No drama, just shift. This rhythm isn't about being perfect. It's about staying connected to what matters, even when you're tired, triggered, or tempted to quit. Every time you return to it, you're casting a powerful vote for your future. I've seen this rhythm change lives, not by adding more, but by anchoring what matters. Your habits get stronger, your identity stabilizes, your outcomes begin to match your intention. So trust the rhythm. Let it carry you through the resistance. Let it bring you back when motivation fades. Let it be the steady drumbeat of your becoming. This is how the future you becomes the now you, not through pressure, but through presence.